Global political turbulence. ACSA policy brief. Executive summary. Acquisition and cross-servicing agreements, more commonly referred to as ACSAs, are worldwide authorities to commanders to acquire logistics support, supplies, and services known as LSSS directly from or to a foreign government. These logistics transfers are only authorized during wartime, combined exercises, training, deployments, contingency operations, humanitarian or foreign disaster relief operations, certain peace operations under the UN Charter, and unforeseen exigent circumstances. This is extremely important when considering the challenges that the United States and global community at large will be facing in the 21st century. Irregular migration, terrorism, global pandemics, and potentially global warming are just a few threats that the United States will not be able to face alone. It's obvious that operations are becoming more multinational due to the geographically widespread threats that the United States and its allies are encountering. The purpose of this paper is to elaborate on potential options to use the ACSA program more effectively and to reduce operating costs while further integrating capabilities among the United States and its global partners in this new challenging environment. The Acquisition Cross-Servicing Agreement program has been in use since 1980 with proven results in multiple operations including Afghanistan and Iraq as well as others. It's crucial as it gives the commander a flexibility in the multinational environment to be able to address complicated logistical needs. The ACSA program offers a more efficient method for the United States to contribute to multinational operations while sharing the cost of with its global partners. The ACSA always benefits the interest of the United States DoD forward deployed commands and forces, and it is not a grant program. The LSSS must either be repaid in cash, replacement in kind, or exchange of supplies or services of equal value in support of the operational need of the forward deployed forces. ACSA cannot be used to increase inventories in anticipation of a need, nor can the DoD use them when desired material or services reasonably available from U.S. commercial sources. More importantly, DoD personnel must ensure ACSAs are not used as a routine source of supply for a foreign country. ACSA operates under two separate authorities which allow bilateral support program between the U.S. and its partners. Acquisition-only authority, which allows the United States to acquire LSSS from a designated nation, does not require conclusion of a formal agreement. It does, however, require the use of a contracting officer. This authority does not allow the U.S. to transfer LSSS to another nation in any way and is limited to its very specific types of operations. Cross-servicing authority, however, allows the United States to acquire LSSS or transfer to a designated nation or international organization if an ACSA agreement has been concluded. It's under the cross-servicing authority that 1207 authority rests. ACSA is regulated by DoD 2010.9 and does not allow the transfer of significant military equipment known as SME as stated in the United States Munitions List, or USML. However, under temporary 1207 National Defense Authorization Act, controlled loans can occur to designated countries under strict control of the Office of Acquisition, Technology, and Logistics, otherwise known as the Office of AT&L. 1207 designation or delegation authority was originally authorized under Public Law 109-364, listed as Section 1202 under the John Warner National Defense Authorization Act, and provides an authority to commanders to loan personal protective and personal survivability equipment to foreign military forces participating in improved operations identified by Congress. As an NDAA are temporary in nature, the program was originally designed to expire on December 2014. The program was renewed, however, on January 1, 2015 under Section 1207 of the Carl Levin and Howard P. Buck McKeon National Defense Authorization Act. Due to extended conflict in Southeast Asia, this program remains the backbone of coalition operations within the CENTCOM region and is critical to ongoing operations there. Currently, the program is only limited to Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, and Jordan, where it's critical in maintaining forces there. These 1207 loans are only made for the duration of the operation, and there is strict control and accountability over the equipment that's identified through the use of monthly inventories performed by a liaison to that nation. The 1207 ACSA process is controlled through the use of a coalition operational needs statement or a CONS that's routed through the command or the combatant command or COCOM to the State Department to ensure compliance. Once the CONS has been approved, the equipment can be released under the authority of the ACSA and controlled with minimal personnel. More importantly, these agreements establish conditions and provisions for acquiring support, but do not bind either party to a particular value or limit of transactions. Once the transactions have been committed, they are usually supported by a memorandum of understanding or an implementing agreement to specify the terms of the loan. Once the terms of the loans are agreed to and all the documents have been signed, responsibility for the return of the equipment has been transferred to the foreign partner, in which they will be expected to maintain the equipment and operate in the manner for which it was designed. NATO and its capabilities to support this equipment through the NATO Support and Procurement Agency, otherwise known as NESPA. NESPA regularly works with European partners and abroad to support NATO missions worldwide. This program offers extended capabilities to the ACSA program and combatant commanders working in a multinational environment to accomplish complex missions effectively and efficiently, to address new challenges using a multinational approach in various geographical areas to support stability, security, and human rights in the 21st century. It's worked well in Afghanistan and Iraq and allowed coalition partners to conduct operations alongside their U.S. counterparts. This program also helps standardize equipment on the battlefield and reduces overall maintenance costs and helps standardize training as well. The United States spends an exorbitant amount of money storing, staging equipment around the world. This equipment is often demilitarized and destroyed rather than used to its best advantage in other theaters or COCOMs. NATO has support agreements with the United States and all NATO partners to demilitarize used U.S. equipment in a variety of geographic locations. This allows the U.S. government to destroy this property without incurring shipping costs to other locations for destruction or demilitarization. This presentation offers the following policy options. Option 1. Extend the use of the 1207 authority to all COCOMs in order to fully accommodate and integrate the logistics needs between the United States and its coalition partners during operations outside of Southeast Asia and the Middle East, and consider permanent embedment in ACSA. Option 2. Retain the use of 1207 authority to specific multinational efforts that involve only military-to-military operational exercises or combat already identified. Now, Option 3. Allow the use of 1207 authority under ACSA to expire as originally intended on September 30, 2019. The recommendations of this proposal recommends extending the use of 1207 authority to all COCOMs to support natural disasters, stabilization, security and irregular migration, and humanitarian efforts in areas that require additional support. This program can be used to support the ongoing migration crisis in Europe and the operations in Ukraine as well, and the humanitarian efforts throughout the globe. The United States has established the COCOMs in every region of this planet and bases in multiple strategic areas that can work together with international organizations like the EU and the UN to further peace and stability throughout the world. This world is becoming increasingly volatile with natural disasters and humanitarian issues in virtually every area of the globe. Governments may be forced to work together more closely than ever before in order to resolve these issues or the resulting irregular migration that will come from them. Increasingly, the United States is becoming aware that it's not insulated from the global community, and without cooperation of our global partners, there will always be issues we cannot resolve alone. In conclusion, existing acquisition cross-servicing agreements are already in place to support the extended 1207 action. If the Secretary of Defense were to authorize the 1207 authorization to the remaining combatant commands, they would only require the addition of 1207 implementing agreement with its corresponding memorandum of understanding in order to fill the much needed resources in a very short time. The threats that commanders face today are far more complex and globalized than previous generations, and they require the cooperation of global partners to resolve. The ACSA program offers the flexibility, speed, and efficiency commanders will need to respond to these new challenge threats. The United States bears an absorbent cost in maintaining peace and stability throughout the globe, and the 1207 ACSA loan program provides a method for combatant commanders to address greater overall need of their mission by allowing them to provide personal, survival, and protective equipment to foreign partners in the performance of their mission in the most efficient and cost-effective means possible. The United States military has been asked to do more to stabilize the global peace and security over the last 15 years than many prior decades before. Our troops have seen, on average, far more deployments than any other generations of soldiers before them. This long-term strain on our military cannot be continued, and more reliance on foreign partners is required. The United States should consider the permanent embedment of the Section 1207 under the ACSA delegated authorities designated by the combatant commanders. ACSA has been a staple for most multinational logistics organizations in virtually every COCOM. The success of Afghanistan and Iraq are absolutely critical to the statement of both operations. Global partners significantly contribute to operations supporting United States security interests throughout the globe, and it has the United States' best interest to extend the 1207 authority to enable all COCOMs to fully exploit its capabilities and further the United States' interest by creating a stable and peaceful global environment.